Rite Aid is going out of they're closing them down. And Rite Aid being that was
That means no more Thrifty's ice cream.
Thrifty ice cream, man.
I was mad. I was sad when they shut Thrifty's down.
Right? Like as a kid, going to Thrifty's for any reason.
Yeah.
With my mom, my dad, whatever.
Always ended with some ice cream.
For me it didn't always end, but I hoped it did.
No.
It wasn't every time we went, but every time I was at least asking for some. And I got it a good amount of times. You know, and that iconic square scoop.
The square scoop.
You can buy those scoopers, the ones that look like the
put it in and it does it.
Yeah, you can buy them and they're the official Thrifty ones. But yeah, man, I thought about that. I was just thinking back. I was like, man, Rite Aid, that's the end of an era. Because I mean, there was nothing like going in there and getting a double scoop of Rocky Road straight out the carton onto the cone, out in the car, melting all over your hands.
Right.
Yeah,
Did they used to do waffle cones? Did they have the waffle cones?
I think they did after a while, but initially it was just the standard.
The regular.
And I remember it was like 25 cents a scoop.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
So
I wonder how much the scoops are now.
It's I don't even. It's been a minute. It makes me want to go track down one just to go get something before they close up.
Yeah.
Hey, since y'all closing, are these on clearance?
Can I get some discount scoops?
So they like, yeah, but I do it with my fingers.
No, thank you. I'll pay extra.
In that case, I'll do it with just my palms. But no, I was thinking about it in the sense of like, you know, our kids. There's certain things that our kids and even grandkids, whatever, right? When that time comes, they're not gonna have that experience. You know, and obviously there's experiences that we never got that our parents did and things like that. But it's to that stage now where I thought about I started thinking about that, and it's like they're not gonna get, you know, your grandkids not gonna get to experience Thrifty scoops.
Right.
You know, there might be some side company that comes out and tries to mimic it, but it ain't the same.
Nah, they got Cold Stones and they got all kinds of other stuff. So.
Cold Stone is ridiculous, dog. I can't. I'm good. $25 for a pint.
It's like high-end ice cream.
But another thing I was thinking about is like Toys R Us. Like what? Like the fact that kids now don't have that experience of like walking through those doors and it's like 25 aisles worth of nothing but toys.
Right.
Like there's where can you do that? There's no stores anymore to do that. So what?
Not a straight toy store.
Yeah. So what? Walmart has toys. Target has toys. Best Buy has toys. But nobody has an entire store that's toys.
Yeah.
And Toys R Us was, you remember going in there and they had the glass cases for the expensive stuff.
Right.
The video games, things like that, the remote control cars.
Yeah.
And you had to pay for a piece of paper. You literally had to go to the register,
take the paper,
and pay for that piece of paper that said that you wanted that so they could stamp it.
Yeah. And then
you take your receipt and the stamp over to the window, and then they hand you whatever it was.
Right.
Like if you was buying Hot Wheels or anything like that was on the shelf.
Grab that.
But if it was anything above I'd say probably about like $30-$40.
If you were getting that Nintendo 64 game, you had to get your paper.
I mean, even Nintendo, you know, forget 64, just Nintendo.
That Sega Genesis.
But yeah, I mean,
that new Sonic.
You bought a piece of paper and then you traded the piece of paper for your your console.
Hey man, they had to cut down on the thievery. I thought it was pretty genius though.
Yeah, but I mean and I know in the later years they kind of took that away, that they, you know, eased up on that. You know, the video games still think they did it, but most of the toys was just on the shelves.
Right. Had to get your Super Soaker like that.
But just
those things used to walk out the door.
Man.
Super Soakers used to walk out the door. But, and then come back 2 weeks later.
Right. But like that experience, man, as a kid, like me walking into Toys R Us, I can't think of nothing that was better. It was like one of those experiences, like, and if you went to a store that was next to a Toys R Us, you was always, I remember I used to, Mom, can we go in? And my mom like, go, but you ain't getting nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
some window shop.
You know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, my parents bought me plenty of toys, things like that. But like, it wasn't every time we went, I was getting something. You know what I mean? I mean, smart budgeting, right? You can.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, that's messed up. But in reality,
different times now, man.
But yeah, kids won't get that experience, man. And then I started.
It's all right. They're only getting $2 anyway, so
right.
We don't need a whole we don't need a whole toy store anymore.
So in thinking about Toys R Us, then it led me into thinking about, remember KB Toys?
KB Toy Store.
Every mall you went in had a KB toy store, which again, it wasn't as big as Toys R Us, but it was a dedicated toy store. that was vastly overpriced, but it was a toy store.
Yeah.
Again,
Nah.
that experience, like I notice now when you go to a mall, there's different stores and most of it's clothing, but I'd say like 70% of stores are shoes. There's a lot of different women's shoe stores, men's shoes, athletic wear.
And even if you do find a toy store, it's not really...
Maybe a Build-A-Bear?
Yeah. It's not really a toy store. It's more like a collectibles.
Yeah, like a Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like... Yeah, you got like the
figurines and the statues,
the Spencers,
and the comic books.
The Spencers is the closest you can get, or a Hot Topic or something.
Right.
But yeah, then they have the ones that have the glass shelves that are things that are put on consignment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's no dedicated like full-on toy stores anymore, so kids just ain't going to get that experience. They just going to know the toys for what's online on Amazon.
Right.
And as cool it is, and I think we're all guilty of scrolling through Amazon when you're bored and finding stuff that you didn't really need that you end up buying.
Right.
As cool as that is, even for a kid to scroll through and look at all these toys and like see the pictures of it, for me, like the experience of walking in and just cruising up and down every aisle, looking at stuff, discovering new, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Something about it, man. Touching it, pressing all the buttons.
Nah, man. You sound like an old fart right now. Kids don't do that no more.
Back in my day, you little whippersnappers.
We used to have to go to the store to buy our toys. We didn't have Orion's World to watch.
Most of our toys didn't have buttons.
They had strings.
We used our mouths to make them gun noises.
Pause.
Right. We used our mouths. Pause. But yeah, I mean,
man.
We had imagination. But no, I mean, even the toys that had buttons that made noises, you was in there playing with them. You was touching, you know what I mean? And like kids, they just see the picture of it and they go, Mom, I want this because it does this.
Right.
But you really...
Different. I mean, we're in a whole new age of technology. Your kids these days don't know a life before all the technology.
I feel like they don't even want toys anyways. By the time they hit like 7, they're like, nah, just give me an iPad and shut up.
Yeah, that's it. Everything.
And that's how they talk to their parents nowadays.
That's crazy.
Give me an iPad, man, and shut up.
It's all visual now, like everything. If you get like the iPad is really, you get them an iPad, they want the MacBook, they want computers, they want video games, they want visual stimulation.
I mean, I've seen like, first graders walking around with iPhone 15s, just like it's supposed to be that way.
Got Apple Watches on and everything.
Right.
Like, why does this kid have a better phone than me?
He's trying to track his steps and check his heartbeat.
Right. Math is stressing me out.
Right.
My watch says I need to breathe.
I can't get past my times tables.
Siri says I need to relax.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man. Nah, it's just...
Little Billy, are you asking Siri what 10 times 10 is? Yes.
No, I'm asking ChatGPT. Right. They're already using that stuff, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just got me thinking, man, with no thrifties, I was like, damn, pretty soon there's going to be no Best Buy because they're on their way out.
I mean,
remember we had Circuit City, Good Guys, and Best Buy all at one time.
Those were the days.
There was all 3 of those options.
Those were the days. But when Best Buy was a new guy on the block.
And he was price matching everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Circuit City. And Circuit City wasn't even, it was literally just computer parts.
Initially, but then it was TVs, and they had and
stuff,
stereos, and car stereos and stuff. But
I used to go there and look at computer parts.
So for me, I don't know why, and this is, it's been, I don't know when did Circuit City close? I don't even know what year. But I remember going to Circuit City,
the late 1900s.
I always thought that was the, I think it was early 2000s.
Yeah, I know.
2010, maybe 9. But I always thought Circuit City was the bougie electronics store because of the way it was always set up, the way the salesmen always were like wearing suits, what I mean, for the most part, and and things were very spread out. It wasn't like a heavily stocked store. It was kind of spread out.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't think I recall buying very much from Circuit City because it was usually overpriced. You could go to Good Guys or Best Buy and find better deals.
Right.
And Good Guys wasn't even that great for that matter. Once Best Buy came into play, Good Guys had all the...
Yeah.
And you said computer parts, and it reminded me of, you remember CompUSA?
Oh, dude.
That fired into my head because I used to go to CompUSA to get stuff. And then it was, from there, it was Fry's.
Fry's, yeah. When I was in San Diego, I was huge at Fry's.
So...
And Fry's was dope. Fry's had everything.
And that's gone too.
Fry's had everything. That's where I used to get all my cheap TVs from.
Now it's Micro City.
Micro City.
There's one in Tustin.
Dang, I don't even
see.
I do 80% of my shopping online anyway, so
it's true.
I'm not a big
when it comes to building my PC. Shout out to Newegg.
Newegg, man. I used to be. That's when my hard drive crashed. I went to Newegg to get a new hard drive.
Yep, and they
way back in the day.
They deliver fast around here too. So
yeah, man. We're living in a new world. No more like the tangible. Actually getting up, going out, doing some shopping. Like that's stressful, man. I don't like traffic for one.
Yeah,
and then I get to the store, and then I got to stand in lines, or I can just do my window shopping from my phone.
And see, the other side of that is, sneakerhead, going through the phone and ordering shoes became convenient, one, because I wear a 15, and most of the time when you walk into a Foot Locker and you say, you got this in the 15 or that in the 15, they'll either say no or they'll say, let me go check. And there's two things that come out when they check. Or I take that back. There's three. One, they come out and they say they don't have it.
Right.
Two, they come out and they say, all we have are these in the 15. And there'll be like some like purple, green, and yellow,
Adidas.
Yeah.
Some Pumas.
So that nobody's ever bought, and they blow the dust off it.
Right.
Or three, they bring you the shoes you want in like a size 11 or 12.
11. Yeah.
And they start handing it to you as if you're trying to try it on. And I'm like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, I wear a 15. If you bring me a 14, I'll give it a go. You bringing me an 11? I mean, are you going to cut the toes out?
Right.
You're going to cut the heel out and making some slides?
What do you want me to do with this?
So, but yeah, shoes is another thing, man. I used to love going in, and before my feet got as big as they are, I used to love going in and trying my shoes on and like, really feeling like, do I like these? And now it's like, nope, got to order them online. And it's been like that for a long time now. I just order them online, and then if I don't, I just return them. So, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of going out and shopping anymore. I mean, I never really was. Yeah, very short period.
I hate lines.
Yeah, lines suck.
I don't like lines.
I don't like traffic. I don't like looking for parking. I don't like any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And if I can't get it off my phone, then I'll go out and look for it. But
at the very least, I'll order it and go store pickup, so I can walk right in the door to the customer service and give me my bag.
Walk out. Yeah.
So
since I'm here, let me browse. Knowing that I don't have to wait in line. Can you reach that?